Hello, universe. It is time to discuss week 4 of this mess. Obviously, I am not in Virginia right now. I am in my bedroom in New York, and that's my cat. He's wandering around in here right now, and he might make a lot of noise, so week 4 was complete madness. I think because, the trial's kind of been going viral now, that everybody has decided to show up, and it's turned into a circus. So I just want to say right now that I did not go in the courtroom all week because I couldn't. Theoretically, I could have, but the line to get in... Sorry, this is gonna be very ranty because this entire week people have been driving me insane. I woke up at 6 a.m. on Monday, checked Twitter, and everyone was saying, holy shit, this line is wrapping around the building already. And I was like, it's only 6 a.m. What are you talking about? I just decided to not even bother at that point because I knew the second that I would go there, there wouldn't be any more wristbands left. So there was absolutely no point in me even trying to go. And I was right about that because people who got there at 5 didn't get in that day. Or really the rest of the week. People thought Amber was going on the stand on Monday, because that's what the media was reporting. She didn't go until Wednesday, but that didn't stop hordes of idiots showing up there to turn it into a chaotic circus. There were people that showed up there to go into court dressed as Jack Sparrow. I'm sorry, this is a court of law, not a freaking Comic-Con. Please take off the costume. All of the people that were showing up this early, by the way, were not there to support Johnny. They were there because they wanted to sit in the same room as Johnny. They wanted to brag to their friends that they had been in a room with Johnny Depp and were a part of this and had gone to the trial. These were all locals or people that had driven here for a day or two. And it was so annoying. And those same people who were sitting there in court then ended up being the people who completely destroyed the whole thing in the afternoon of waving to Johnny. I thought last week it was crazy. Oh no. Just to tell this chronologically, I showed up on Monday that afternoon to wave to Johnny as he left, and there were so many people there. These people were acting insane. They started running in the street trying to grab onto him in just hordes. One person did it, and then everybody else was like, oh my god, let's all run up and touch Johnny. And I was like, people, this is dangerous for him, this is dangerous for you. The police were not doing anything because I think they were just standing back there we have never experienced this, what do we do? And eventually they just got a cop car to drive out really fast and follow his car down and start honking at people to get the fuck out of the street. People were swarming his car like a swarm of freaking mosquitoes. My perfect little spot. I got away because generally crowds tend to gather in 2 specific points. One where the car pulls out of the driveway, and the other one where you get a full view of the door that Johnny walks out of. So I found a spot finally away from these 2 groups, and more people kept showing up there. Immediately when I got there, there was a toddler with a water bottle banging it on a pole. There were people bringing their dogs. There were a bunch of little kids, and I was like, this is not a movie premiere. Why are you bringing your young children here? Dogs, okay, I get it. Why are you bringing your young children? They have no idea why he's here, what he's doing. They just want to wave to him because you told them that, oh, that's Jack Sparrow. So I get my little spot, and then people just kept trying to move away from the crowds too, ended up getting close to me, and I was still okay, I still have my own spot. There's still a good couple feet away from people. At some point during this, a lady walked up to me and said, hi, I'm friends with this other person you talked to last week. Do you want to be a part of our documentary? We'll get to that. I knew who she was talking about, so I just kind of was like, yeah, sure, because they're an independent film company and they're making a documentary specifically about the fandom and not, whose side of the case are you on kind of thing. and they're very much pro Johnny, so I trust them, and I would never support a documentary about this case and trying to profit off of specifically the case, like the Discovery documentary. But these people were very much, they actually told me they hated the Discovery documentary, so I very much trust them. If they're making a documentary about the fans, that's very different than making a documentary about the case itself. But we'll get more into that. So she came up to me at some point during that and weirdly started talking to me right as Johnny started driving out, and I was like, okay, despite there being tons of people running in the street, I will still have my moment because there's nobody around me. As soon as he drove, like, right near me, the lady a little bit down the sidewalk next to me runs directly in front of me into the middle of the street and doesn't run up to his car, but now she's standing in front of me, so I didn't even get my moment. I was like, oh my god, why do you need to do this? You can't wave to him from the sidewalk? Do you have a vision problem? Like, can you please get back on the sidewalk? You're 2 feet from the sidewalk. It's not gonna make a big difference. There were 2 boys that I got perfectly on camera high-fiving him, who earlier had told Court TV that they were Amber supporters, which is just very confusing. On it! On it! But it was just absolute chaos, and I knew as soon as that police car started driving and honking at people to get back, I knew this was over. Like, there was no more calmly standing on the sidewalk waving to him kind of shit, having a moment to myself with him. There was no more of that. There were just too many people. It was like, it went viral and now everybody just wants to be there to throw shit in his car. People bringing huge gifts to throw in his car. Like, again, what are you people trying to do? Do you think you have some sort of master precision in throwing stuff into a moving vehicle? You don't. You're going to hurt somebody, or you've just wasted a ton of money on something because you're not going to give it to him. Anyway, that's basically all that happened Monday. I don't really remember who specifically testified because I wasn't really paying much attention. I was just kind of like, I'm gonna take a day, I'm gonna relax. Anyway, after that, I was like, I'm out, and once I'm out, I'm out. Like, I don't really want to go home. When I'm home, I don't want to go out, and when I'm out, I don't want to come back home. So I instead went to Starbucks and texted a girl that I had met the previous week, who was actually, when I said that I was number 100 on Thursday, she was number 101, so she was standing behind me in line, and I just texted her and was like, hey, do you want to sit in Starbucks and chat? And she was like, sure. I don't even know why I did that. Just felt like it. So she came over and we sat in Starbucks and talked for like 3 hours, 3 or 4 hours. We just sat there talking for 3 or 4 hours. Turns out she was also approached by the same documentary people, which was convenient for them because we spent the rest of the week hanging out with each other. So Tuesday, me and this other girl decided to get there at like 9 a.m. to wave to him as he came in and then just hang out around the courthouse and watch a live stream together. The documentary people wanted to film us that day. I thought they were just gonna sit down and ask me questions, but they kind of wanted to get like B-roll footage of us just doing random shit, which they proceeded to do all week, which got kind of annoying because we could not go anywhere without them following us. They're very nice people, but it's kind of like, sometimes you want to just like wave to Johnny Depp without there being a camera standing directly behind you, and not just like a cell phone camera, like a full-on professional film camera with a microphone. Please, I'm having a moment. I don't need that. I'm glad they got that on video because, if that makes a documentary, that'd be a nice moment to have in HD. But I did not personally want them filming me in that moment because I just wanted to have a moment alone, and yeah, that didn't happen. Anyway, so these documentary people started following us around on Tuesday, and that morning we got there and waved to Johnny as he came in. Someone chucked a bouquet of flowers at him as his car drove in, and he caught it midair with one hand through the window in a moving car, which I thought was insanely impressive. I did not get it on video, which I was so mad about because I was just kind of watching it and had my phone up and did not notice I wasn't filming it, but I saw it. It was impressive, and Johnny was very, proud of himself for doing that. That was an interesting moment. So then me and my friend decided to go get art supplies from her Airbnb and make posters that the documentary team wanted to film us making. And I had to on the spot come up with something, because I don't just want to make a poster that just says "Justice for Johnny Depp" or something stupid towards Amber that has to do with her shitting on the bed. Can I just make a side note here and say that, yes, that is disgusting. Is that the main focus here? No, I don't care that she shit on the bed or that it's gross or anything. It was a shitty thing to do, pun intended, but I don't care. I just don't understand why people are so focused on that. There's so much worse shit that she did, and you're focused on that. That wasn't even direct physical abuse, so why are you so focused on that? Anyway, end of little side note, but I didn't want to make a little poster that said Amber turd and had a little poop emoji on it, because I've seen several people doing that. So instead I made this poster, and it says "Abuse knows no gender," which is actually not the quote, it's "Abuse has no gender," but I kind of did it on the spot, so. And I put the hashtag #MenToo, because I think that is a very good hashtag for this, because the whole point is that the Me Too movement has gotten way out of control and does not include men when they're talking about the fact that these kind of abusive things happen. So the hashtag that's kind of come from all this is #MenToo, to include men in that movement, and it's a pun on it. And Amber being this spokesperson for the Me Too movement, I think it's kind of a good pun. This was not a poster to wave in Johnny's face. You know, if I were to write "Justice for Johnny Depp" on a poster, then you hold that up when he drives in. This was a poster to hold up when Amber drives by, which normally I just ignore her and I don't look at her, but I still continue to do that. I just held the sign up. So we spent the morning making these posters, and then my friend said, let's go around to the back of the building and hold up these signs on the sidewalk where all the cars that drive up and down that street there, because there's more than you'd think, especially around lunchtime. So we went back there at 1 o'clock. They went on lunch early that day, so we missed Johnny coming out to smoke at some point during that. We kind of wanted to see him come out, but it didn't happen. Instead, we stood there with our posters, and it was very strange. I, again, don't like bringing attention to myself. I hate it. I just feel so awkward when people notice me doing something that no one else is doing. But the two of us stood there, and people were honking as they drove by, cheering. A lot of people were giving us judgmental looks. A lot of people were slowing down to read our signs because they were a bit confused, because not everybody knows this is going on. It was very strange, but it was good because we were spreading awareness that this is going on and why it's an important thing to pay attention to, because most of the time people just see it's two rich celebrities accusing each other of shit and just going at each other for no reason. But it's actually about something much, much more important than that people don't realize. And that was the purpose of my sign, was this is not just about Johnny Depp. And I think it was good that we both had our signs, because her sign said "Justice for Johnny Depp" on it. I think it's good that we had both of our signs so people can understand this is an issue and this is why we're doing it here. And the whole "Justice for Johnny Depp" thing, that's much more mainstream. That's something people will know, rather than me just having "Abuse knows no gender" on a sign, people just going, okay, but why are you doing this here? So it's good that we had two signs that said that. For some reason, the documentary people did not film that, but we stood there for a little bit. Then we decided to go get lunch in the courthouse, and then we sat outside with the Crew, and a guy from Fox, not Fox News, but the channel Fox, like Fox 5. I don't know if it's Channel 5 where you live, but where I live it's Channel 5. He was very sarcastic. He definitely did not want to be reporting on this. He thought it was stupid, and that's why I was like, this is why I don't want to talk to the mainstream media. Because they just think it's either stupid or they're on Amber's side. And I think that, like, if you think it's stupid, why are you here? If you're on Amber's side, how much is she paying you? I really don't understand how everybody in the general public is on Johnny's side, but like the media still is on Amber's side. Somebody's paying them off. Somebody's pushing this narrative. It's so ridiculous. Anyway, we sat out there. Then me and my friend were talking. She had a drawing that she wanted to give to Johnny, and I still had the bracelet I made that I also wanted to give to Johnny. So we came up with a plan that she was going to stick her drawing and my envelope with the bracelet and a little note in it in her sketchbook, and she was gonna just hand the whole sketchbook to him or get it in his car somehow. I was like, I don't really want to be a part of that, throwing shit in his car, but she is very tall and she did not want to be throwing things in his car, but that's what it ultimately came to, because we got to the back that day, and this was actually the day that TikTok that's gone viral of like the girl going there and just filming everybody and how it turned into absolute chaos, and it's got like 6 million likes or something. That was the day that was filmed, and I'm in that TikTok. I'm standing in the back behind everybody else, and you just see my hair. So yeah, if you watch that, I'm the blonde one, filming with my phone. From my angle, being very short, a terrible video. You don't see shit. But from the TikTok, you kind of get a better sense of what was going on, because from my angle, it was madness. So he drove out, and they decided to make a plan where he was going to turn the other direction so people wouldn't be running in the street again. That didn't work. People still ran in the street. People caused a freaking scene. He drove out, and every single person there decided they wanted to give him a present. Not just touch his hand, they wanted to give him something. Immediately, they didn't even try to put it in his hand. They just started chucking shit in his car from a distance. You see in this TikTok video, people just throwing shit. I had my spot in the front, and as soon as the car pulled out, again, 2 people run right in front of me. I didn't even bother waving, I don't think. I don't really know what I did. I didn't know what was going on. I see my friend, and I'm trying to film her, and I just see her reach over the entire crowd of people and just kind of like go like this, and she got the sketchbook into his car. So my bracelet got in his car. Did he get it? I don't know. I don't know if he ever got the present. I don't know what he does with the stuff afterwards. I don't know if he ever read the note. There's no way of knowing, but I'm not too concerned about that. But it was a nice moment seeing that, just being like, yes, finally, we got it to him. I don't have to worry about doing that anymore, and I can stop carrying around that envelope because it was starting to get destroyed. But people swarmed his car, and there was one lady in particular with a fucking trunk, like a whole ass treasure chest. And I knew what was in there because she had told me. So I do want to clarify to anybody who saw that TikTok and was asking, like, what's in the trunk? Not Davy Jones' heart, not a bomb. It was presents from the state of Rhode Island, I think she said. That's what it was. But she was told, please don't try to shove that into his car. Like, just give it to somebody or security or somebody because it's dangerous. And from my height saw the police were trying to shove people back away from his car. This lady takes the trunk, tries to throw it in. It was like about to hit Johnny in the face, and he just caught it like this and grabbed it and picked it up and put it in his car. That's the moment when I said, you people are fucking crazy. You are going to hurt him. He could have been seriously hurt by that. If he had not seen that and caught it in time, he could have been severely injured. What the fuck are you doing? The whole purpose of the case is the fact that somebody kept giving him black eyes. So why are you now trying to give him a black eye? What are you doing? Like, I am so glad that he caught that box because, like, I can't imagine if he hadn't caught it. But the police kept pushing people back, and he turned the other direction, went down the road. So I thought that was kind of funny because there was a large crowd of people on the other side of the street, down the other end, who were waiting patiently for him to drive by, and he never did, and I was so happy about that. Me and my friend were very, very happy that we got our stuff to him finally in the car. It was in there. We didn't have to worry about it anymore. Went to Starbucks again, and it was great. So on Wednesday, my friend decided she was going to sit in the courtroom. So she got there at 2 in the morning. She didn't sleep, and there were already people lined up. People were lining up there since 9 p.m. the night before. What the fuck is wrong with people? Like, I don't understand why you need to sit out there for 10 hours just to get a wristband. They should have an online booking and a queue and a wait list. That would be so much better than having people camp out there. That's, first of all, against court rules. I don't know why nobody is enforcing these rules. They enforce rules with me, but they're not going to enforce rules with these other people? Why? It's so ridiculous. So she ended up getting in because she got there at 2 a.m. and I did not. I've kind of given up on trying to get in the courtroom. So I went there and she came out and waved to Johnny as he came in.
Woo! There he is. Wait, is that him?
And it was a mob of screaming fangirls who were clueless about what was going on. They had obviously never been there before and were just standing there like, which direction is he going to come in? Is he going to do this? And they had stuff to give him. And he came in and they all just screamed. And I'm like, why are you screaming? It's 9 a.m. Calm the fuck down. They're standing there screaming their heads off, screaming his name, and Johnny's enjoying it. I'm not, because they're all screaming in my ear. Like, please stop screaming. You could just wave to him. It's fine. Wave to him calmly. Wave to him quietly. You don't need to scream. So that was the day that Johnny, his side, finished their witnesses, I think. And as soon as they finished their witnesses, immediately Amber's lawyers gets up and is like, excuse me, we want to dismiss the case again. And the judge was like, no. Apparently that's like a common thing that defendants tend to do in cases. As soon as the plaintiff side is done giving their evidence, they try to get this case dismissed because they say that it's stupid or that there's no point to this case, and it very rarely works. But to people who don't know that, it just kind of looks like Amber really didn't want to go on a stand. Now that I think about that, that was actually Tuesday that they did that. Then they brought in the psychologist, who was a hot mess. What I thought was really funny about that was that Shannon Curry, the queen of it all, was sitting there watching this woman testify that Amber has PTSD and all this shit, and was just sitting there like... But there's not too much to say about that psychologist. I didn't really watch most of it. What I was waiting for was on Wednesday afternoon, when Amber finally got up on the stand. Oh boy. I watched about, I'd say like 2 hours of it. And then after like 2 hours, I started to get so triggered. Like, I don't even know why I was getting triggered, but something about that was just making me so distressed that I just shut it off. And by that point, my friend actually came out of court early because she was also getting triggered. There were other people coming out getting triggered. Like, the media wants to paint this picture that, like, the TikTok memes are triggering abuse victims, and everything like that is triggering abuse victims, and joking about Amber's testimonies triggering abuse victims. Like, no. You know what's triggering abuse victims? Amber getting on the stand and lying her ass off while staring at her victim and accusing him of things he clearly never did. That was triggering. That was triggering for abuse victims. I know y'all don't want to talk about that. But that afternoon, I finally had, like, the best moment with Johnny that I've had so far. Because me and my friend found a new location away from the mob. And I want to say this right now. If you're going there just to wave at Johnny or try to shove shit in his car, please, for the love of God, do not try to find this location. We found a location because we saw someone film a video where they had caught Johnny at a red light and had a full-on conversation with him. And we were like, yeah, let's attempt to do that. So we found this red light. It didn't take me too long. I have my ways. But we found this red light. We were the only two people there. This group that had found him at the red light yesterday actually showed up at one point, saw us there, and then were like hesitant on interacting with us. But I was like, what the fuck did you people expect to happen when you post a video of you interacting with him and kind of showing the entire area? Like, I knew where this was. It wasn't hard to figure it out. So we end up going to this red light. Johnny's car ended up getting caught at the red light before ours. So we did not have a conversation, but the group of people that were there the day before were there, and they had all spread out down the sidewalk, and then it was me and my friend was sitting on some steps. So I was standing completely by myself. That day, I was actually wearing a shirt that Johnny tends to wear a lot that I've never seen anybody else wear, which is weird because I'm like, you people are all Johnny Depp fans, and you don't know about the Beverly Hills shop that he's always wearing shirts from. Maybe I just have the same kind of sense of fashion as him, which is, I don't have a sense of fashion, which means we probably have the same sense of fashion. So I was wearing a shirt that I wanted to wear the day Amber started testifying, which says stay humble or be humbled. So his car misses our red light, but keeps driving down. There was a policeman on a motorcycle next to him to still prevent people from trying to run in the street because they didn't know if there was going to be more people. So he waves to all of us individually. This moment, again, another moment that felt like it lasted about 5 seconds, but in real life it literally is like blink and you miss it kind of thing. He's waving to everyone down the sidewalk, you know, just like casual wave. And then he saw me standing there, and I think he saw my shirt, and his whole face just lit up. It was so weird. Like, it was almost as if he recognized me. Despite the fact that I had seen him at that point dozens of times, that was like the absolute craziest moment because his whole face lit up and he smiled, like full on grinned with his teeth out. Interesting description, but that's the only way I know how to describe it. Full on, just like, kind of thing. I just stood there and was like, what the fuck do I do now? Like, and my friend was still like recovering from having to sit in the room and listen to Amber speak, so she wasn't really in the best mood. Everyone else had already spoken to Johnny, so they were not really freaking out, but I was freaking out. I was like, y'all, he just like full on grinned at me because there's nobody standing around me. Like, that was at me. What the fuck? One thing I actually forgot to mention was I tried to catch him on a smoke break while my friend was in court, and it was the morning break, and I went around to the back of the building and saw him come out, but I was the only one there, and I was so terrified to say anything. He was at a pretty good distance, and I don't have a very loud voice, so I did not want to scream anything and bother him. Like, I just did not want to bring attention to myself because I feel like I just would never in a million years be able to even speak to him because I would just be so freaked out if I was given that opportunity. So I just kind of stood there awkwardly, like, and I wasn't completely alone because there was a paparazzi guy, which made it very awkward. So I didn't say anything. I just kind of stood there and was like a bit freaked out by this, but it was fine. It was fine. Everything was fine. It was just very strange just kind of being the only one there and just seeing Johnny Depp and like no one else saw him except me and that paparazzi guy. And the police. But the police always see him. So now, Thursday. So on Thursday, Amber testified the entire day. As triggering as Wednesday was, the bits that I did end up watching on Thursday just got to be so absolutely ridiculous that I couldn't help but laugh. I missed a lot of the sexual assault allegations. When I did rewatch it, I wasn't laughing at that. I was so disgusted by the fact that she was making this absurd allegations. It was gross. Her whole performance was way over the top and sickening. Like, sickening. I can't even, like, describe that, really. It just made me so uncomfortable it didn't make me feel bad for her, it just made me uncomfortable because I knew she was just fucking lying. On Thursday, my friend did not bother going into the courthouse. Instead, we took the signs, went to the back, held them up again, and I ended up watching her tell like the last half of the Australia story that she made up, and holy shit, I was dying laughing. And the thing is, no one else who was back there at that point, because people kind of started to get the hint, and I think Thursday was the day that like the most people showed up. People kind of started to get the hint that he comes out during lunch breaks. So like I would say about 10 people were there, and I was dying laughing watching this testimony out loud with no headphones, and nobody understood why I was laughing. And it wasn't like a sense that they were like, oh, this is offensive to laugh at. It was just they weren't watching this. They didn't know what was going on. They had never heard this story before. And I was like, why are you here? Like, you're here to just wave at Johnny Depp? Do you actually know what's going on? Do you know what she's accusing him of right now? Do you know what she's saying? So I was just stupidly laughing at this because it was so fucking funny. And I was trying to tell people, like, do you hear what she's saying right now? Like, this is fucking hilarious. And nobody was having any reaction to it at all. Her whole testimony is just so funny. I think it's kind of also laughing at it is kind of a coping mechanism for those of us who were so triggered by it initially. Like, we're kind of now just coping with it by laughing at the complete absurdity of it. Yeah, anyway, me and my friend immediately knew that there was no way we wanted to be anywhere near the mob of people that were about to show up that afternoon to wait to Johnny as he left. We were very right about that. They ended up lining the street with police cars to prevent people from running in the road. There were mobs of people, like mobs of screaming people. I've seen videos. We were not there. We left. We went back to our spot, and that day, another one of my friends showed up and filmed it, and now it's on his YouTube channel. I mean, I'm sure people will end up figuring out where the spot is. For now, it's fun. And there was one other person who showed up there who ruined the whole thing for us because it did actually end up that Johnny stopped at the red light on Thursday. And this other person decided it'd be a good idea to run in the road and try to give him something. So what the fuck happened? The police made them drive around and run the red light, so this guy would not run and throw something in his car. People are fucking stupid. Like, this guy just ran out in the middle of the road, and I didn't even notice this until I watched my friend's video and saw that this guy had run out, and I was like, oh, that's why they ran the red light. Because when they stopped, there was a moment, and I didn't even notice this when it happened. I noticed it when I rewatched the video that I took, where Johnny actually pointed at me because I was that day wearing a shirt he designed with the same company that said Silence, Exile, Cunning, which is a tattoo he has. He saw that and pointed at it and then went like this. He was very obviously pointing at me. It was like, what the fuck, man? Like, I didn't even notice that in the moment. The dot crew had ended up showing up there too and started filming it, and my friend was like, why the fuck are all these people here now? We did not invite them. I think I said to my friend, like, hey, why don't you, like, come over here, but if you come over here, you can't film it and post it because it's secret. Like, we can't let other people know. And then he told the dot crew, or somebody told the dot crew to come over, and we were like, what the fuck are you doing here? We did not ask you to be here. But they came over to film us, so that might be in the documentary. So anyway, Johnny pointed at me and gave me a thumbs up, drove by, and then that was the end of the week. That was the end of part 1 of this trial. And I'm trying to do this video as quick as I possibly can because it is quite late and it's the only chance I have to film this when nobody's up and wandering around the house. So that's basically all that happened this past week. I went back to New York for the week to chill with my cat and my parents for my mom's birthday and Mother's Day, and then I'll be going back to Virginia on Saturday for the last 2 weeks of trial. Yeah, I'm not gonna miss it, and we will continue this saga. So that's week 4, and I hope you like this video, and I will see you all again for week 5. Subscribe if you want, follow my social media if you want, only if you want to. You don't have to. There's no pressure here at all. And I will see you guys on week 5, when I think somehow it will get even crazier. We'll see you then.